Imagine prayer flags billowing freely across a truly independent Tibet, a vibrant tapestry against a breathtaking mountain range. We accept Tibet as part of China, but what if history had unfolded differently? What if Tibet had remained sovereign? And let's find the answer to the question, what if? A free Tibet would dramatically alter Asia's geopolitical landscape. Firstly, Sino-Indian tensions, largely stemming from the contested border region, would likely ease considerably. The absence of a Chinese military presence in Tibet would create a significantly less volatile environment, potentially fostering greater cooperation between India and an independent Tibet. Secondly, the regional power balance would shift dramatically. Nepal, Bhutan, and India would need to adapt their foreign policies to this new reality, leading to a more multipolar dynamic. This decentralized power structure could foster greater regional stability, lessening the dominance of any single power. Finally, a free Tibet would forge new international relationships, impacting global trade routes and potentially attracting increased international investment in infrastructure development and economic opportunities. This shift would necessitate a recalibration of global power dynamics, presenting both opportunities and challenges for all involved. A free Tibet would see a flourishing of Tibetan Buddhism, unshackled from external control. Monasteries would thrive as centers of learning and spiritual practice, and the unique cultural heritage would be preserved and celebrated globally. Economically, a sovereign Tibet could pursue sustainable development, leveraging its natural beauty for ecotourism and exploring responsible resource management. Hydroelectric power and environmentally conscious mining could diversify the economy, creating jobs and improving the lives of Tibetans. Crucially, the Tibetan language and culture would be central to the education system, fostering a strong sense of national identity and self-determination. This cultural renaissance would not only enrich Tibetan lives, but also contribute to a richer global cultural tapestry. A free Tibet would prioritize the protection of the ecologically crucial Tibetan plateau. Robust environmental regulations would curb unsustainable resource extraction, contrasting sharply with current practices. This would lead to a healthier ecosystem, benefiting the region's vital water sources, the headwaters of major Asian rivers, and mitigating climate change impacts. Sustainable resource management would become central to the economy, focusing on responsible practices and long-term preservation. This shift could serve as a global model for environmentally conscious development, demonstrating the positive correlation between environmental protection and economic growth, significantly impacting regional and global efforts to combat climate change. The plateau's influence on weather patterns underscores the global significance of Tibet's environmental stewardship. A free Tibet would face significant internal challenges. Nation building would require skillful leadership to unite diverse groups and foster a shared national identity. Economic sustainability would be crucial, demanding careful planning to avoid over-reliance on global markets and ensure self-sufficiency. This might involve developing unique economic models focusing on sustainable tourism, leveraging the country's natural resources responsibly, and potentially exploring niche markets. Finally, maintaining internal political stability would necessitate proactive policies addressing the needs and concerns of all ethnic groups within Tibetan society, preventing internal conflict and ensuring equitable governance. Success would depend on fostering unity and cooperation rather than imposing a centralized power structure. A free Tibet would stand in stark contrast to its current reality. Instead of restricted religious practices and cultural suppression under Chinese rule, a thriving Tibetan Buddhist culture would flourish, influencing global spirituality. Economically, a self-determined Tibet would likely prioritize sustainable development, potentially leveraging ecotourism and responsible resource management. Unlike the current extractive practices, environmental protection would be paramount, safeguarding the Tibetan Plateau's ecosystem and its vital role in regional water resources and global climate patterns. The comparison highlights the devastating impact of Chinese occupation, the stifled economy, the suppressed culture, and the environmental degradation, painting a picture of a vibrant, prosperous, and independent Tibet, a reality currently denied. This contrast underscores the untapped potential of a free Tibet and its significant contribution to regional stability and global cooperation. Independent Tibet would reshape Asia, fostering cultural preservation and environmental sustainability, though nation-building challenges remain. In your opinion, what if Tibet remained an independent country? Share your thoughts in the comments.